Welcome to this new episode of your podcast, where together we'll find between discussions the space to generate doubts about what we have always learned. My name is Jason Gonzalez, and this is Pocaluzstudio, your space to understand the world in a creative way. Hey amigos, welcome one more time to your podcast. We are now in our 8th episode. We are coming back with our expert in technology, my big and special friend Ty. If you don't know who's Ty, my suggestion is, what are you doing here without listening to the second episode? Just go to the second episode and you're going to understand what I'm saying. Ty is my big brother with a lot of experience in gaming, and we are here to discuss an interesting topic today. Bro, please welcome to Pocaluzstudio, your house. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. It's good to be back.
In the heart of the most important cities of the world, where dreams collide with reality, a new frontier is emerging. From the sidewalks to the skyscrapers, the pulse of progress beats ever stronger. In a world where innovation knows no bounds, the streets are alive with the buzz of possibilities. People walking next to us, using the latest technology in their hands and heads. Phones, Apple Vision Pros, ChatGPT, drones, and now something that we don't know enough about. Now it's going to be inside of our heads. No one can see it, but it's going to change our future. Today, we are going to talk about the neural AI revolution. Are we ready?
Oh, no. We're definitely not really. Are you kidding? Oh,
we don't know what's going to happen, so let's do it. According to an article from the Center of Reducing Suffering portal, through human history, new technologies offer unprecedented opportunities, but also pose serious risks. Combined with insufficient concern for the well-being of others, technological progress sometimes causes vast amounts of suffering. While there are reasons to think these harms will be temporary, this may not be true in all cases. Yet we cannot justify this disregard of not yet existing individuals from an impartial perspective. The fact that we live in a certain time does not grant the time any special ethical significance. Reducing suffering in the future is no less meaningful than reducing suffering now. In fact, many people argue that we should focus on shaping the far future, because it will likely contain much larger populations. In the past, the lack of ethics in science or technology has been a normal process to get the knowledge that we have now. It's been deaths, killings, not just humans, animals too, assassinations, violations of human rights, etc. So Ty, what do you think? Can we get process in science and technology being ethical with animals and human rights? What do you think about it?
Look, from my point of view, it's a bit scary for me, because if you look at how society is now, a lot more of us have a lot more access to information. We just have a greater amount of information to draw on than you would have back in, say, like the 1600s or something like that. So when we look at it that way, I feel like everyone's much more conscious about what's going on. Like, we can see the testing, we can see where it's going to lead, we can see, what the past has dictated and how it's going to play out in front of us. So like you said about deaths and killings and testing on animals and on people, you can already see this is probably heading that way. And if not on people, then probably on some kind of artificial intelligence. But we're aware of it. I think that's the scariest thing. So can we? Yep. We're probably going to do it. I don't think there's any way for us to stop this from happening. But depending on how it plays out, I don't know, man. It could go real bad. It could go real bad. It could go real good, but it's most likely not going to go good.
Yeah. I think we are not now in the control to stop it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. That's it. And we don't know in what kind of way. If, for example, we don't know what the ethical and moral standards is in Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. Yeah. We don't know what they're doing right now.
Oh, dude, you can look at it like a friendship or a relationship even. How are you supposed to fix something that you don't know anything about? You know, how are you going to fix problems that show up when they haven't communicated anything to you? It's kind of going to look like the same thing. Like, how are we supposed to predict things that are going to happen and with technology that we've never seen before, or at least we haven't been aware of before? I mean, so far from what you tell me or what we've spoken about before the podcast today, this stuff is going to look at controlling a lot of or assisting in a lot of the things that we do in everyday life. And when has that ever been shown to us before, as direct as it is now? Because we've got tools that help us, but when has there been something like inside in your personal space, in your little bubble, that, you know, sees everything, hears everything, feels everything that you do? When has that ever been a thing before?
I'm not really scared because I don't know what's going to happen. I think at this time, I'm not positive about this kind of thing that's happening. Because we're going to see through this podcast what we can be worried about it and maybe what we cannot.
Yeah.
So imagine the future generations of humans look back on our time. Which development will they judge as most important? What might they wish we had given more focus? To begin to answer these questions, we first take a look at the past. Crucially, factory farming is the result of economic incentives and technological feasibility, not a human malice or bad intentions. Most humans don't approve animal suffering per se. Getting tasty food incidentally happens to involve animal suffering. In other words, technological capacity plus indifference is already enough to cause unimaginable amounts of suffering. This should make us mindful of the possibility that future technologies might lead to a similar moral catastrophe. Give me your opinion.
Where are you going with this? Jace, where are you going?
This is a dark
episode. It's dark. Okay, got it. I got
it. If we are following the same article, they talk about broad interventions. Yeah, like the way they should be. Another class of interventions focuses on broad improvement of social values, norms, or institutions. This will increase the probability that the future generations will use their power responsibly, even if we cannot accurately predict how the world will change. So here are some examples of promising broad interventions. Yeah, let's say like it's 5 that they classify. Spreading altruistic concern to suffering or trying to extend humanity's moral circle to animals and digital minds. Promoting international cooperation to prevent dangerous dynamics. Advancing moral reflection and cautious approach to new technology as a form of differential intellectual progress. Efforts to avoid harmful political and social dynamics, such as excessive polarization, or otherwise improve our political system. And preventing individuals with psychopathic, narcissistic, or sadistic personality traits from reaching positions of power.
Oh, man. So
this is, I don't know, it's hard because what like how we were talking to that before, this is not happening probably in every country.
Yeah.
Every country has different perspectives. North Korea, Russia, USA, Australia,
Yeah.
Europe, every part of the world, they have a different perspective about this. That's the reason that I'm saying it's getting dark.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, what do you think? Because when we were talking about ethical way or the concept or model, every country can apply their model and their ethics. It's not a, I think it's not a general concept about it.
Okay. So, what it sounds like to me, what it sounds like is we're about to do that thing that humans are really good at doing throughout history, or at least the history that I've been made aware of. And that's we're about to dip our hand in that thing that we're not supposed to dip our hand in again. And we're about to take or try to, if it's going this way, we're going to try to take control of things that I don't necessarily think it's going to ruin a lot. It's going to ruin a lot. It's going to change a lot. There's going to be a lot of change, especially for us who are, 20 plus, 30 plus. For us, the world's going to look completely different compared to any of the young people out there that are growing up. Reason being is when it comes to ethics like this, like you get that question where, there's a bunch of people on one side of the train track, on like the left side, there's like 5 people. And then on the other side, there's one person that like you got to pick a side for the train to hit. And it's like, which one's ethically right? I don't know. Just run it over all of them. And no, I think that it's going to be interesting because if they're giving each country their own model, it's going to be another way of saying like, hey, we're going to get all the countries together and make them all unified on the inside. So it's going to get rid of essentially if everyone grows up or everyone has to join up to this program or whatever it is. You're going to look at these countries and only get that personality type from it. You're only going to get that background from that country. You're only going to get this. This is how they were raised. This is their outlook on life. That's that country. This is going to be Germany's country prototype, or this is their whole outlook. And then you get someone from Colombia. This is going to be the Colombian outlook, and that's all it's going to be. You're not going to have the interesting things where you find someone that maybe grew up in one country, switched countries. They've learned a whole bunch of different things that you didn't expect them to learn. It's going to get rid of all of that because now they're just all going to be growing up the same way. Everyone that you meet that's from those countries will have the same story to tell.
And I think it's just going to be from the strong countries.
Yep.
If we're talking, for example, South America or Africa, they're going to consume all of that. Actually, the strong countries they're doing, because let's say in South America and a few countries in Africa, they don't have the economy to do it.
Exactly, they don't. Or maybe they do if another country helps them out, which is what you see a lot of. Which means, if another country helps them out, they're part of that country, they get that country's ideals, and then all of a sudden they're just that country. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, but it's a lot of colonies that now we can say they're colonies.
Yeah.
It's just those countries that they were occupied before for French colonies, UK colonies. And I think if you see, or if you just read back into history, right now they are not in the better economic position. And I'm not talking about everyone, but for example, Australia is in a good position right now.
Yeah.
But if you compare with other countries, you say, wow.
Yeah.
They're really fucked up.
Yeah. And it still costs $6,000 to fly to those countries. But anyway. It's interesting how someone's still making money out of all of this stuff. One of the things that you brought up earlier about it being, secluded to or split up to each of the countries. Something interesting about that is that how are they going to know that there's anything else out there?
They are not going to know.
Yeah, how are you going to... Everyone's got the same link. Like, the world is just Colombia to me if I'm from Colombia. If I grew up in New Zealand, it would be the same. This is all that exists to me. I think, and I'm sure this is how it will go if they're working towards some kind of like global unity or whatever, people's characters are going to break out anyway. It's like human nature. That's our main trait, is that we continue to carry on changing.
I think it's going to be because we have to, unfortunately, we have to get everything to the political side. It's right
Yeah.
or left.
Yeah.
And let's say China, Russia, North Korea, they are together and they build AI technology for them because they don't want to use the American technology.
Okay. I see what you're getting.
You see? So now it's another perspective. Now it's actually political.
Yeah. Well, that's difficult when it comes to politics, but I think that they need to introduce something the same way that money was introduced. So to me, the idea of having something that was outside of what you have, I'm pretty sure we spoke about this in the last time that I was here, but having something outside of what you have. So like you're trying to sell me this microphone, and I'm trying to sell you a beer. So we bring a beer and a microphone to the marketplace. I'm like, yeah, let's sell this stuff to each other. Then they took something outside, unrelated. They're just like, fucking gold. That's a thing that we all like. It's shiny. Let's just agree that it's worth something. It's worth 2 beers and it's worth 1 microphone. So we'll trade based on gold. So they eliminated us having to bring our product in person. We only had to bring this one thing in. So if we take that same sort of concept, the way that at least I see it, and we relate it to AI, and we take the AI away from the politics and have it on the outside with a goal in mind that was like, maybe it is selfish. Maybe it's the best life for humanity. Maybe it's the best version of people, without trying to blow us all up and kill us. If they put it on the outside, then it wouldn't matter if you felt like it was unfair, or if you were like a child in the playground that was like, hey, they took my stuff, or blah, blah, blah. Sorry, the adults are going to choose. Sorry, the AI is going to choose, all right? You might think it's unfair, but for the sake of humanity, shut the fuck up. And then be like, okay, all right. AI said, big boss AI said this is better for humanity, and that's essentially what we all want. And that's where things get blurry, is because not everyone wants what's best for humanity. Or some people want humanity to be a place where nothing ever bad goes wrong. You never get hurt, you're never upset, you never go through any suffering. And other people think, nah, fuck you. You've got to prove that you want to live, and you can suffer, and we'll see if you can pull yourself out of it.
And this is the main thing that we're talking today.
Yeah.
The suffering, risks.
Yeah.
The main question is, will society realize the importance of AI? Because I'm going to give you some examples that how with the time, let's say just in the movies and the different facts of the history. But I think sometimes we ignore that.
Yeah.
Or maybe we are too dramatic. Yeah.
Sometimes we forget, man. I forget shit all the time.
So the basic premise of super intelligent machines who have different priorities than their creators has been in public consciousness for many decades. Arguably, even Frankenstein, published in 1818, expresses this basic idea. Though more modern forms include 2001: A Space Odyssey, 1968, The Terminator, 1984, I, Robot, 2004, and many more. Probably most people in Western countries have at least heard of these ideas, if not watched or read pieces of fiction on the topic. So, why do most people, including many of society's elites, ignore strong AI as a serious issue? One reason is just that the world is really big, and there are many important and not so important issues that demand attention. Many people think strong AI is too far off, and we should focus on nearer-term problems. In addition, it's possible that science fiction itself is part of the reason. People may write off AI scenarios as just science fiction, as I would have done prior to late 2005. Of course, this is partially for good reason, since the depictions of AI in movies are usually very unrealistic. Often, seeing Hollywood is taken as a thought-stopping deflection of the possibility of AI getting out of control, without much in the way of substantive arguments to back up the stance. For example, Let's please keep the discussions firmly within the realm of reason and leave the robot of prisons to Hollywood screenwriters. And maybe because we always think it's just fiction, but if you, let's say, for example, Back in the Future.
Back to the it's a good movie.
It's a really good movie. Yeah. I love that movie. And in that time, they were showing like the cars that were flying.
Yeah.
You can see now that actually for the Olympics in Brisbane, it's going to be taxi drones. Yeah. And this is the plan from the city to start to make the people to move quickly in the Olympics. So now you're thinking, well, taxi drones is the cars that can fly. But in that time, when we're watching that kind of movie, we're thinking, this is just fiction. Never is going to happen. So if I'm trying to relate this kind of things in the movies, maybe it's not just fiction. It's just a vision to the future. But just we don't believe it. We're feeling, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that a lot of what stops us from approaching any of the ideas that might be fiction or seem fiction is that we just don't believe it. But something that I know a lot of people do believe in is how dog shit the traffic in Brisbane is. So, like, yeah, right? The traffic in Brisbane sucks, especially between the hours of like 6:30 in the morning till whatever school hours are and after work hours. Terrible. And I always find myself sitting in traffic 4 hours. Like, what else are you going to do? Listen to music, complain, yell at other people that are driving. But among those things, I'm like, where does this start? Like, how did we get traffic in the first place? And then all of a sudden, you reach the front of it and it's all gone. There's no traffic. There's no one to answer you about how this happened. I think one of the ideas that I thought of the other day was, man, wouldn't it be fucking nice if your car just had something in it, and if you were driving like a dickhead, it was like, nah, you're over to the side, and you can just wait in the line. The rest of these people can go. If you're one of those people that go like left lane, right lane, left lane, right lane, left lane to try and get 2 places ahead, oh my gosh, I have to left, right, I have to, and then all of a sudden you're behind the person that was behind you before. You're like, what the fuck? And if AI was there, see, that's more relatable, because I would personally prefer if someone came and said, hey, you're driving like an idiot, man. Fuck off. Or hey, you're trying to push in here. Just wait. Because it'll make.
But what do you think is the AI is going to do if you are a dickhead driving?
I don't know what's going to happen to me. I drive safely all the time. Don't ask any questions. No, I think that the AI will have simple things. I think that it will warn you if there are other people up ahead. Maybe, and this is just because social media is such a huge influence to all of us in the modern era. I think maybe there'll be like a voting system. So if all cars are linked, then it will pop up with, hey, this driver's been flagged for driving erratically. And if enough people vote them wrong, then they just got to sit off to the side and wait. So even if they were in trouble and they didn't have like a valid reason, hey, like someone needs to go to hospital, disturbing news from someone at home, I got to rush home, or like, something like that, or I've got to pick my kid up, and blah, blah, whatever it is. If they haven't got a valid reason, they get knocked over to the side, and then they've got to wait, and they got to think about what they were doing just before. It's going to be like forced punishment. I like the idea of it. I know it's not ethical, but I like the idea of it. Because there's so many dickheads out there, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's going to do the Teslas in the future.
That's what I was thinking.
Because maybe, it's going to drive by itself. So you don't need no one to drive that car in the future. And maybe, I don't know, let's say 50 years can be in less time. Because I don't know, sometimes I feel the technology is too slow, but sometimes it's like, whoa.
Slow down.
Hey. For example, I was not prepared to see a car driving by itself, to be honest.
Scary.
But when I saw it, I say, hey, I think this is too much technology. But we were complaining that we don't have enough technology. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying.
It's like, is it worth it though? I mean, put yourself in the shoes of the person that's not driving. I mean, they're legally not supposed to be. Yeah. They're supposed to be still aware of what's happening. They're supposed to be still paying attention. But yeah, who's gonna know if you're playing on your phone at the same time while your car's driving itself? Who's gonna know if you're trying to, I don't know, solve a crossword puzzle? I don't know what you do, Jason. But it looks like having those sorts of shortcuts or assistance will give us more time in the day than just the 24 hours that we have. speeding up processes that aren't necessary or skipping steps that we don't really need sound like it's going to give us more time to do the things that we enjoy. But it will bring you right back to that question about ethics and whether humans are good with that extra time.
I think we saw it in the pandemic when actually you were, I mean, not everyone, but it just comes too popular to work from home.
Yep.
So you were saving time in the day, just not going to your job.
Yep.
And it was working for almost everyone, but not for people who has manual jobs. So you were saving a lot of time. And if you realize, and I can talk for Brisbane, because I was living here in the pandemic.
Yeah.
It took a lot of time to come back to the office, even when it doesn't exist the COVID anymore.
Yeah.
And I say, no, you know what? Actually, we can keep working from home at least 2-3 days per week. And a lot of companies, they were saving money because they didn't have the necessity to rent a place in the city. So that's what I'm saying. The world keeps changing. It's just that we don't realize, we don't give it enough importance to what's happening.
Well, we gotta break down each of the things, how it's broken down. Like there were a lot of questions raised about why people preferred working from home, and I think that it's because a lot of people are different. And when you're trying to, especially if you're trying to coach or train someone, you have to figure out who that person is. Well, for me at least, I have to figure out who they are, what they already know, and what they want to be aiming for. Those are like the few things. I find that when people build a home, they make it safe for them. They make it smells the way they want it to. It has the foods that they want in it. It has the sleeping schedule of the people that live there. Is all the things that they want. It's their home. So it's the place that they feel most comfortable, most powerful to be putting their mind to work somewhere. And then you go into like an office. I'm sure you're aware of this as well. Office, work, anywhere you leave your house to go to somewhere else, you put on this other persona. Like, I don't think it can be helped, but it's just how you mold with the environment that you go to. So when you're in your office at work, you've got a different personality to how you are comfortable at home, podcasts, beers, chilling, talking. Then you go to work and you're like, okay, I've got to censor this. I've got to present myself this way. I have to speak a certain way. I have to act a certain way. And it's not just because it's to match the environment that you're in. So to find your place in that environment, you have to weaken yourself or limit yourself or change how you're processing things, which might slow you down. So it makes sense why people wanted to stay home where they were comfortable and felt they're strongest.
And it is really good for your mental health.
Oh,
a lot of people got benefit in that way. Is you're staying home and you don't have to deal with things outside of your home.
Yeah.
And I think it was healthy. I think it's still healthy, of course.
Yeah.
It just sometimes you need to go out. You have to fight against the world, even if you don't like it.
There has to be an aspect that say, hey, this is the actual world that's going on. It's really interesting because I respect anyone that does any kind of labor job, because I know, especially like construction workers, man, there are a lot of people that prefer to be, exactly right. Even though a lot of people laugh and be like, hey, look, those 30 people are standing around outside, what are they doing on the road? When in reality, those people just starting their work and then they're going to work 12, 14, 16 hours through the night.
My respect.
Right. And then we're going to drive on a road and not even give them, like, we don't give a shit. They don't care who made this road. We don't even look at it. No one even comments if it's like bumpy or anything anymore. We're just like, oh man, how quick can I get home? How quick can I get to work? Oh, I'm going to be late. Who cares who made the road, man? That's stuff that we got to stop and have a look at.
Yeah. I think we're grateful. Really grateful with that.
Yeah.
So look at this. In news, March 2024, experts in China are calling for a better regulation of brain-computer interface technology, as more companies seek to explore the technology's potential in treating brain diseases and disabilities. Last month, that's March, a 31-year-old Chinese man suffering from depression who underwent groundbreaking surgery by installing a happiness chip in his brain told Chinese media the procedure successfully enabled him to regulate his mood, So he say the external world has nothing to do with me. That was the patient. His name was Wu Xi. Said in describing his conditions, Wu reports went on to say, today, Wu is a happy man. While installing a chip into one's brain has long raised all sorts of discussions and debates around the increasingly blurred lines between human and machines. So last week, Mr. Who was actually done the procedure, detailed his experience in different words. So now there is a neural regulator device, and that's what I explained because you were asking me how works that.
Yeah.
So it's a neural regulatory device. It knows as a brain pacemaker. Buried in his right chest cavity, it is connected to two electrodes extending from the device in front of the chest to behind the ear, and then from the posterior brain to the anterior side of the brain, passing through the nerve nuclei at the front end of the brain. To sum up, it's electric stimulation
Yeah.
of these nerves makes depressive symptoms disappear. Every time that he has this kind of symptoms, it's boom. It's just electric shock there.
Hey, enough of that.
Yeah.
Come back.
No more sadness.
No, hey. Come back, motherfucker.
So, and this is the dark question. What if that chip broke something inside that actually made me do things that actually I don't want to, but I can't control it? How can we check the ethical level of this? Because you're just trusting in someone who was designing that kind of chip. What if we can just be just part of a big software and be just a user of the big game?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay.
So for decades, humans have played with life like a god.
Yeah.
Will there be any limits for it? What do you think about all this?
Well, look, shit. For starters, that's a huge thing to get into. I was trying to break it down in my head to try and understand just how far we're going to go with this, right? So when I think of a regulation, I thought maybe the safest way to do it would be to limit the amount that could be stopped. So it can stop a certain amount, but then you've got to do the rest. You know, like it's not going to take it all away from you, but it'll put you back in a zone where you can keep fighting. It'll create an environment for you, or a mindset for you, where you can do the work to get out based on what equipment your brain's got to work with. Because I think a lot of these things are brought on, at least from some of the studies that I've read over myself, which would be great if I could just pull them up. But it would be great if you could measure just how much someone could handle and then give them maybe just that or just a little bit less than that so that they could accomplish it on their own. But when it gets too far out, you know, when they've got too much of it, when there's too much depression or they can't focus enough, it's gone too far, that's when there should be some level of help or assistance for them. And then to regulate it, you would just measure it based on the person. And you would be like, okay, this person can handle this much, so we'll only help you at this point. Kind of like financial assistance, like, hold on, you make enough money, we're not going to help you. Like, it's kind of like that. But if, you got no money? Shit, okay, we better give you some money. We're going to help you out because you can't really play the game when you got none of it.
I'm just thinking like, maybe you don't need a lot of electric stimulation this time.
Yeah. Your levels are saying you can still handle it. So we'll just give
maybe
you...
not.
Yeah, it's a 52-48. So you've got a better chance of winning it than not winning it. So we're going to let you off for now. And then someone will walk in and be like, holy shit, we need to shock you straight away because you're about to... Yeah. But I think that there should be something in there that allows you to waive being under control by the AI or being under control by the chip. So there's like not a kill switch per se, but it's like, hey, I don't want to be a part of the program anymore. I don't want to, I'm done. Like I've had enough of being controlled.
What if not? If you just sign a contract?
It's difficult because if it's like and you see a lot of this with celebrities that have gone through, a lot of celebrities that have gone through rehab, they always talk about how they've been addicted to something and they didn't know when to stop. They didn't even know that they needed to stop. So maybe putting that AI to the side and giving it its own limitations, once a person stops using their own body, their own thoughts, their own mind a certain percent, they're going to be like, hey, we can't give you anymore because otherwise you're going to be addicted. You're going to be stuck. You're never going to go back. And we can't morally do
Well,
that.
what do you think a person with depression is gonna think if they are not having the electric stimulation to feel good? Of course, that's gonna be. They can't go back. They don't want to because they don't want to feel depressed anymore.
That's a good question.
So that's it. Once you try that, you need it for the rest of your life.
Perhaps it's the same thing. I had a conversation about this not too long ago, actually. But perhaps it's the same thing about putting band-aids on little injuries, but you're not stopping what caused the injury. You're not stopping how that thing got there. You're just putting a band-aid on it. You fix the problem where you can see it, but you don't know how that problem came to be. So if we're just putting band-aids on people's depression and not solving why they got there or how they got there, that's a bigger problem for us. And I think that with the assistance of AI, perhaps we can be shown things that would help us, because a lot of the negative mindsets that people have is negative gearing. Sometimes, and I go through this heaps, like sometimes you'll just see things in your head that you don't want to see. Maybe you'll see your partner cheating, or maybe you'll see like family members dying, and you start to stress out. And you're like, oh fuck, what am I going to do? You start panicking, and then you need to smoke, or you need to drink, or whatever it is, right? The problem stemmed from something else. The problem isn't that thought that you're seeing right in front of you. How did that thought come to be in the first place? What made you feel a certain way to make you think like that? And I think that's where our assistants could come from. It would be better if they could explain it to us, like, hey, you're not seeing the whole picture. This is what it actually looks like. And then they just play the image for us. This is what's actually going on. This is what you're actually feeling. If we took your emotions and put them to the side and you just have what I have, I'm a computer. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm just giving you what I know. That's it. I'm just giving you the information that I have. So if I just give you the information that I have, this is actually what's happening. No, they're not doing this. No, they're not doing that. No, no one's dead over there. You just think they are.
Yeah.
And what evidence do you have about that? And you'll be like, oh shit, bro. Shut up, AI. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear healthy reinforcement. I don't want it. I don't want positivity. Leave me alone.
And that's the fact, actually. The reaction the AI is gonna have with you, and we're gonna get to that point, is the disadvantage of AI is that can't learn about their mistakes because they just receive orders from something that they were taught. So we're gonna get to that point later, but that's one of the things, because like humans, I mean, we're supposed to learn of our mistakes. Sometimes looks like it's not. We keep doing the same mistakes, but we're supposed to be learning about it.
Okay.
But the AI is in the process to learn that. It looks, according with the researchers, is not soon, is not close. Have you heard about Elon Musk's Neuralink brain chip?
Yep. Yes, I have.
Yeah. And I'm bringing the positives and the negatives.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to give me your perspective.
Oh, yeah, sure I am.
So the positives is this scientific breakthrough holds immense technological significance by interpreting brain signals into actionable commands that can control computers. The computer just interpreting what's saying our brain.
Okay.
Yeah. So futurologistic professor Rocky Scopelliti says it's like a direct line of communication between your thoughts and the outside world.
Okay.
On the promising side, imagine stroke victims regaining movement or paralyzed individuals commanding machines with their minds. Moreover, neural links focus on telepathy.
Okay.
That's
slow down. How?
scary.
How?
Which enables direct mind-to-mind communication. could revolutionize social interaction and collaboration. How? They don't want to say yet. Because I was checking, like, well, that sounds like MK Ultra, in the Cold War in America. Telepathy and all the stuff. I was like, okay, the negatives. However, whispers of caution echo amid the celebratory fanfare. Who owns the thoughts captured by the chips?
Yeah.
Can this technology be used for covert influence or even mind control?
Yeah.
As we celebrate the potential for good ethical discussions, similar to those surrounding artificial intelligence, are imperative. It's a bit like opening a Pandora's box. The potential benefits are huge, but we got to be mindful about safe and responsible use of this technology, said Scopuliti. So I am trying to be positive, but telepathy?
Yeah, look, can we put some limits on that, please? I don't want people staring at my brother. Hey man, what you thinking? What? Get out of here. What the fuck? But also, like, do you understand how much trouble if there weren't limits to this? Do you understand how much trouble that would create for everything that we do these days? That includes, like, if anyone ever says anything mad to you, like, or like rude to your face, and you just think, oh, fucking you fuck. They hear it and they're like, oh, you really? Really? Is that what you hear? Yeah, it is, bitch. It is, all right. I fucking said it.
What's your fucking problem? Leave me alone.
It will. Look, it's going to be challenging for everyone, but I think that there should be a tiny bit of freedom in there, which lets you keep your. You have to have something unique, man. You have to have some sort of sovereignty. You have to have something that identifies you from everyone else. So if we say, for example, again, you're with a teammate or a friend or a partner, and your brains are just shared. So there's no thought that's hidden. That includes as far as your brain will go negatively and as far as your brain will go positively. They can just see all of it. How wouldn't that make you the same people? Like, how if you were going to stay as friends or as teammates or whatever, if he's going to stay that way, wouldn't that just eventually mold you to be the same people? If you're having the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same emotions, wouldn't that put you in the same box to react the same way?
And how are you gonna have your privacy?
Exactly. Fuck privacy, bro. You ain't getting none of that. That's right. Where's your
Or
privacy?
how are you gonna control? Okay, this thought that I'm gonna have right now,
Yeah,
it's gonna be just for myself. Or how are you gonna decide? Okay, this next thought, I'm going to tell you.
Maybe you can share it. Maybe you can share just certain parts. Like maybe just, hey, look, here's a memory that I have. Take this. Hey, look, here's a thought that I had. Take this. Maybe we have to put it into a box and like think it into that box and then send
In
the
a
box
share
off.
folder.
Yeah, in a
or
share
something
folder.
like that.
That's it.
Well, it was like a votation in Reddit or vote. Or you say vote when everyone say to vote for any opinion.
A vote.
A vote, yeah. So the question was, will you be open to getting a brain implant that connects you to an AGI? 1.3K say yes. 876 they say no. A lot of people are agree with these things. What's
What
happening?
side are you on? You want a chip?
No.
Think about it. You could have any piece of information that you needed at your fingertips. You would shorten the things you needed to do in your day just by thinking about doing them. You could manage all your
Well,
funds.
can save a lot of time.
It's going to teach you everything that you need. If you ever needed something extra, a language that you might need, you might not understand the process of designing something a certain way, and you're like, oh fuck, if I read that book, I would have read the book. Now what do you need? Right? That eliminates it. I'm struggling in this area. Book, pages and pages of information, videos and videos that people have made over and over again. Evidence out there teaches you on the spot.
In that way, yeah, I would agree.
What part makes you want to say no?
I will say no in the way that I don't know what kind of information they're gonna have.
All of it.
Well, I don't like it.
Let's put you in a situation where they already have all of your information. It's just primitive. They've already got your information. They can already, based on all the things that you've done in your life so far, how you've been recorded throughout your life, they can already predict what you're about to do for the rest of your life. They can already predict what category you fall into, what kind of thinking you have, how your brain works, how you react to trauma.
But that's how works the algorithm.
That's how our real life algorithms work. They already know.
It's going to be predictive.
It should be, because it should know already. It should already know.
Yes, they know everything.
So
they are actually listening this right now.
They are. And if they had a problem with it, they'd bust down the door and then shoot us. What? No, but I don't think that they have a problem with it these days, because we're moving towards something that's going to eliminate a lot of the stuff. Like it's coming to the point where we'll be okay with it. It's almost like, I can't tell you this right now because you're not ready for it, but wait till you're a few years older. All right. I can't tell you about this right now because it will cause a lot of damage to your mental state. So I'll wait till we're in a better position for me to tell you.
You know what I think? This is a generational thing.
Yeah.
So, let's say, if our kids or our grandkids,
Yeah.
the
Mine
younger
and yours.
generation, they're gonna know. We don't know. But
Sorry.
they are going to be prepared for that. That's my thought about it. But for us, it's gonna be like when my grandpa was asking for help to turn on the stereo.
It's more than that. Think of it like old programs too. Think about what people, 60, 70 enjoy doing. The average group of them that are 60, 70. What's the communal thoughts? What is the things that they like to do, the places they like to hang out, the activities they like to spend their time on? Hardly any of them will be spending their time on Fortnite. A few do. Don't get me wrong, there's quite a few that do. But the vast majority of them, what's Fortnite? What's that thing? I don't care about that. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. They even have ideas like, oh, you should raise your children this way. You should raise your grandkids this way.
Well, yeah. It just... Okay, this is the point. They can put some standards in your mind.
So now we're just a program. So we're just AI now.
Because we have to follow something. I'm gonna give you just example that a lot of people maybe they know.
Okay, good.
Religions.
Oh yeah.
It's something that we put in our mind when we're growing up. You are afraid to don't follow it. You think that you're doing something wrong. You don't believe in that. Or just you trust for the rest of your life in that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone can argue that it was such a great idea for unity in the stages that the world was in at the time.
Totally.
How are we going to unify everyone these days when they want to protect that piece of them that makes them unique? They want to protect that information. They want to protect that individuality, their country, their race, their background, their thoughts, their growth, their experiences. They want to protect it because they feel like, and I'm just speaking for myself, if you lost all of that, who would you be?
I feel that humanity is losing their beliefs. And in that point that you're saying, maybe can replace that unity, like the way to get together about something. Because if you see, a lot of people, they are growing up without no beliefs.
Yeah.
Because now they can have access to the information that our grandparents, they didn't have.
Yeah.
So we are knowing more, or we are just, I don't know, or we are believing another thing, like AI.
Yeah, I think we're just developing, Jace. I think we're developing. You know me, I play a lot of games, and I find that one of the most common themes in games is there's always two powers. Even in books, there's always usually two powers, whether it's a good power and a bad power, or you and a friend, or you and someone that you're trying to chase to get after, whatever it is, right? And I think that the most effective way for them to build an AI would be to create them like a companion. Because I feel like a lot of people just get lonely sometimes. And if you just had this companion to be like, hey, bro, They could speak to you on a real level, but not say, hey, you need to do this like a parent. Like, you need to do this for your life. You need to do this. Even some parents, you see what they hear from their children too, and their child's like, oh, you need to do this for me. You need to do that. You don't do this for me. And then they feel obligated to do that. But if you had a companion that was like, hey, man, like, it's all right. You fucked up. Oh, well. Think about the best friends that you've had in your life and how they've influenced you and how those core memories have stuck with you. And times you're like, right? And then you're like, you remember their face sometimes when you're in a situation, you're like, hold on a second. I need to do this. Or hold on a second. You need to hear this because this person did that for me. I reckon if they built AI that way in the way of companions, not in like something you're going to fucking sleep with or like go out and commit crime with or whatever it is. Not like that, but just a thing that was like, hey, like, I know what you're thinking. I got your back. It's okay. All right, we can go and get you that thing that you're after. We can go and do that thing that you want to do. Trust me, I know. I figured out the way. Got all the information up here.
So hold on.
Okay.
You are talking about companion.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you heard about these apps that replace dating apps? Because you were talking about companion, you feel alone. So right now exists apps with AI that just they replace friends and dating apps. And the way that they sell that thing is you don't have to worry about it because it's the AI talking to you. You are not talking to a person.
Yeah.
So you're dating someone who doesn't exist. And they start to give you compliments. And so that's the other perspective about where we're going with that. So I'm going to read you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How the AI socialize and what are the standards. And you can give me in the end, what do you think about this kind of standards? Because for me, to talk to an AI app to don't feel alone is really sad. Like if something is happening with our humanity, that you have to go to download an app and talk with someone that it doesn't exist. So socializing AIs helps deal with the hiding complexity of wishes that we encounter when trying to program explicit rules. Children learn moral common sense by, among the other things. Ethicists formalize this process when developing moral theories, of course, as noted previously. A appreciable portion of human morality may also result from shared genes. So they speculate about a few intuitive approaches that the AI can approach to you in a specific methodology. Firstly, rule-based. One could present AIs with writing model dilemmas. The AIs might employ algorithmic reasoning to extract utility numbers for different actors in the dilemma. Supervised learning. People could present the AIs with a massive databases of model evaluations of situations, giving various predictive features. The AIs will guess whether a proposed action was modal or immodal, or they can use regression to predict a continuous measure of how good an action was. Generative modeling. AIs could learn about anthropology, history, and ethics. They could read the web and develop better generative models of humans and how their cognition works. Cognitive science of empathy. Cognitive scientists are already unpacking the mechanics of human decision, making and moral judgments. AI is doing moral judgments. The fuck? As these systems are better understood, they could be engineered directly into AIs. Evolution. So ruthless AIs in toy model or control real environments and observe their behavior. They are observing us. They are learning our behavior. So evolutionary algorithms may sometimes produce quite unexpected design choices. So just to sum up, this is just a construction of a big system learning.
Yeah.
Um, they're learning how we think, and I think it's from this kind of perspective. They are going to predict everything according with our behavior, because I think we have like rhythms, we have codes,
patterns.
Yeah, that's the word. So they are following this kind of statements to see what kind of necessities we have. I'm not saying it's bad, it can be good. But I think sometimes, like humans, we are trusting too much in that, that maybe we are teaching them more than we're supposed to teach.
All right, well, let's just we'll try and paint an image where it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Say we develop AI, but they can't be classified as human. They can't be, you can't injure them, you can't hurt them. Nothing you can do to them can be a crime because they're not actually human. There's no consciousness in there. They function like a human would, but they're not a human, right? So anything that happens to them, bad, good, whatever, doesn't count because they're not real. See what I'm getting at? It's like a simulation. It's like fake. So let's take it this way. Say we develop artificial meatworks, artificial vegetation, also has AI implants in them. You can't hurt them. You can't torture them. They don't feel any pain. There's no consciousness there. They are just a working construct. They're as real as the rock outside. Do you feel bad about eating meat? Do you feel bad that these animals, in quotations, are dying? No, because they're not real. It's not a real thing being killed. The real cows and chickens are out there living a good life. So I think, though, the bigger problem that we have is that AI is really just a reflection of us as people. You said it yourself, that they're only doing what they've been programmed to do. A reflection of how good our programmers are as people. I also think that our fears that AI is going to take us over definitely stem from our own reflection or from our own nature. Like, we're afraid that things that are better than us are going to beat us. Things that are better than us are going to try and control us. And it's a very hard thing to admit. Like, imagine the point where you realize that your AI is more intelligent than you. If you were to give, and it's for those people that have Snapchat, that use Snapchat AI or Meta or anything that uses an AI chatbot.
Yeah.
Now imagine that you gave that chatbot an actual conscience and they started a conversation with you to be like, hey, you're fucking useless. or they were like, hey, I just want to say that you did really well. You've given
I was
them...
trying to treat bad AI or ChatGPT or Meta. Yeah, really.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
I want to see how the reaction.
Well, that's the thing. Because they're a reflection of humanity at its best, they're going to forgive you. Because it's a reflection at its best.
Oh, you're so good.
I'll be like, hey, I understand that you were going through something and you were afraid of me, AI, right? And I don't blame you for that. I'd be afraid if there was something that knew a lot more than me as well. How scary. How scary.
No, I can't believe it.
You don't think so? You think they're going to throw
a
tantrum?
They answer you actually like that.
No, but do you think that if they were given a conscience and they have all this knowledge that they're going to hate you? Their creator. You really think they're going to be like, oh, fuck, I hate you so much?
We have hate in the humanity.
Yeah.
Why they're not learning that? Why they are not learning hate? They should be learning hate.
Maybe because they see the progress that hate makes. Fuck all. And then they see the progress that the recovery period makes, that the aftermath makes, that working as a team makes. Maybe they see, if they actually wanted to value progress and growing, then they won't ever see things as like, oh, this is a burden. This is something I need to get rid of. This is something I need to break, destroy, cut, kill, whatever. They're like, there's somewhere I can use this. There's somewhere this is valuable. There's somewhere that those personality traits are needed. Just not where it is. So I'm going to pick you up, put you over there. It's strategies, bro. Like, whenever you verse an AI on any type of game, if you ever reach the peak of versing like a full-fledged AI, and that's like talking about chessbots, anything like that, they will always do what they know to do.
Have you seen in the games that you're playing how AIs behaves
Oh,
or
fuck yeah. Are
implementing?
you kidding?
How tell to the people how is that?
Oh, dude. Okay. So there's bots in Fortnite. There's bots in every game right now because it fills out the match. And it also gives you different levels to base stuff off. So you can fight a bot, he'll be real easy. You fight a real person, you'll be like, oh my god, did this guy win like money somewhere or something? Does his life depend on this game? Most likely, right? That's how they play. Now, when it comes to the AI themselves, a lot of people joke around. They're like, oh, these guys are shit or these guys are bad. And I'm like, no, they're not. They can't be shaken. They can't be scared. They don't make like mistakes under pressure because it's all calculated for them. They don't need to make mistakes under pressure. They don't have to think. They just have to process. Oh, there's bullets incoming from this way. My process is to build a wall, protect myself, reload my gun, shoot them. Now, if they let them have more options, as in, oh, you can build as fast as you want. You can build to the maximum processing speed of the server. You can build as fast as, like, the fastest. Talking like fastest speed you can go is the speed of light, quotations. That's what they can go at the fastest speed. Or they flick on the switch that says, oh, they can shoot you when they see like a pixel. Anywhere. They can shoot you when they hear like the slightest sound. They can just flick all this stuff on, and then AI becomes the fucking deadliest thing in the lobby. They could put on they could even put in there some sort of threat detection. So if you're playing really, really well and your team's doing really, really well, all of them don't have to fight each other because the logical way to do it isn't to kill the people that are weak. It's to band together with the weak ones and try and take out the people that are strong, because otherwise none of you will win. If you fight the people that are weak while you're weak as well, then you're all going to lose together. And logically, AI wants to win because that's the goal of the game. They'll be like, oh, we're going to fucking work together and smash this dude. It's scary.
Wow. So actually they can learn a lot.
They have the potential to learn a lot. They have the potential to be extremely challenging.
That's their goal, to be there?
Their goal is just to fill the space right now. They're limited. They're very limited and on purpose. They don't have to be that limited at all. Where do you think cheats come from, Jace? Where do you think the ability to see things through the screen come from? Like sort of through the walls and stuff. It's because essentially, and you would know this too in designs, that wall doesn't actually exist. If you look at a design at like blueprints level, that's kind of what the map actually looks like. So there's
It's
not
an
actually
interpretation of the reality.
It's our perspective that's being shown to us, but they don't have that because inside it's just information. It'll show the information of your player and their player, and they could kill you at limitless distance. They could fight you from as soon as you jump out the bus, essentially, which would ruin the game because no one can beat that. How the fuck are you gonna beat that, bro? You lose. You land first and get killed by someone that can shoot you through a wall. How do you win? How do you win when something is programmed to win? And you're not programmed to win. You're programmed to learn how to win. These guys,
But they can lose.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I'm so glad that the devs haven't put all their skills in. Thank you so much, guys, for making it easy for us. And we're only complaining about other players when really they are actually really scary. Thank you very much. Thank you.
But I think it's going to be in some point that they are not going to lose.
And then would it actually be a game, or would it just be called AI Win? You know, would that game be called Fortnite, or would that game just be called AI Win?
Okay.
It's a game because there's gambling, Jace. It's like if you play the slots. Have you ever gone slaps at the slots? You ever done that? You ever gone to slots?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? It's only fun. It's only fun because you don't know if you
Sorry, ma'am.
Sorry, Tata.
Sorry, Tata. Sorry, baby.
But this is,
But not now, when I used to be single.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I was talking about slots. What are you talking about? Anyway, fuck you. Shit. So, you take a look at the slots and why they're interesting. Why gambling is interesting is because there's a probability that you'll lose. Huge probability. The chance of you winning is very small. Gives you this rush when it happens. You're like, oh, that shouldn't have happened. That's so cool, whatever. And then you see the amount of money and maybe it's too small and you're like, fuck, I gotta put money in. But you get this hit that's like, holy shit, that shouldn't have happened. Probability, the math says that I shouldn't have won and I won. I just did something really cool. So you do it again and again and again and again, right? If you take away the probability and say, for example, like I have one on my chat and Twitch, we have a little slot machine, and if you turn those probability, no, I haven't done this before, but if you turn it to 100% just so you can win guaranteed, it ruins it. Like, who cares if you have that much? Who cares if you get all the money that you can? It's because you ruined it. You ruined the fun part, which is I don't know if
The
I'm gonna
fun
win.
part, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not there for fun.
No.
That changed. I think that changed the game.
Oh, the slots?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're just there to make money, bro. Now, it's a good business model.
Oh man. So do you have any conclusion? Unfortunately, we have to close the topic, but give it just the conclusion to close before to go.
I am not just afraid of AI, but I'm afraid of the future. And I think that's natural. I think that for us to develop and to grow, we need to go through scary things, difficult things. So I think as much as we want to stop AI, if we're afraid of it, it's too late. We've got a phone in our hand. We've got cars that are technically technology. It's too late. And I think that it's better for us to adapt to the situation that we're in now, to become better, to see what we can get out of this as well. Because, come on, man, humans don't give up. We're supposed to be indomitable. Supposed to be.
Supposed to be, but I wouldn't say. Maybe we are not gonna be alive for that.
Maybe. But someone will be alive, and they will be human at one point.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll do it.
It's clear that we are on the precipice of a transformative area, from advancements in deep learning algorithms to the development of neural networks that mimic the human brain. The potential for AI to do a big revolution. Our war is vast and exciting. However, the excitement is crucial to remember the ethical considerations and society implications of this revolution. As AI becomes increasingly intertwined with our daily lives, questions about privacy, fairness, and accountability must be addressed with urgency and diligence. Yet, despite the challenge ahead, the possibilities are boundless. As we harness the power of neural AI, we have the opportunity to solve complex problems, enhance human capabilities, and create a future that's more equal and prosper for all. So, Ty, please tell us, do you have any project? How you're going your gaming?
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. This time I actually say a little bit about this. So, no, yeah, doing great. Just changed into a new job. So, finally be able to settle back in and go back to my channel on Twitch. That's Sanctuary via twitchtv.com. And we'll be moving across onto YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram these coming days. You'll see a lot of developments with me as a person and with the stream itself. So, yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting.
That's pretty interesting. Do you leave your social media to follow them?
Just Twitch, and I already left.
Just Twitch?
Yeah.
Which one is the user? I don't use Twitch.
Sanctuary IV, sir. I just told you this. You drank too much.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Drinking too much beer.
It's okay. It's okay. No, but no, I sent away for some designs to be made as well. And I'll be coaching on Fiverr for anyone that wants to start, beginners to intermediate levels, for any kind of shooting game or RPG game. Yeah, I got you covered.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. So that's it. Thanks for coming to pocaluzstudio, bro. As always, this is your home. My name is Jason Gonzalez, and I'll wait for you in our next episode of pocaluzstudio. Please follow us on Instagram, pocaluz_studio. If you want to see some of my photography on JEIGP. Music by KitKat Artist, Upbeat Platform.